existed. So what can we do, or what could this committee recommend to try and improve the status and the ability of any of the, not that they're called recommendations at the moment, but the suggestions that are contained in them, so that they have the clout and the follow-through that we need to justify them being written in the first place?
Could I answer that one, if that's okay? It follows on from your initial question, as the previous question as well, regarding the children deaths as an example. So I work in drug safety. I particularly work on a drug called opioids, strong pain medicines. And in drug safety, we have pharmacovigilance. And so this is, many of us in this room would be taking medications. We have systems in place where we monitor on a daily basis the data that comes in on harms from medicines, or harms from really many different interventions, but medicines specifically. So we could do the same. I'm an epidemiologist. I have expertise in safety, pharmacovigilance, and we can actually design a really simple, low-cost tool that could tell us when there's these signals, like you mentioned, around child deaths. So it needs to be a data-driven approach. It needs to come from, we've got expertise in the UK, in the room, where we're doing this already in other fields and other disciplines. It's about letting epidemiologists, academics, computer scientists that have the skills that can turn coronial information into data so that we can set up really simple, easy-to-use systems like pharmacovigilance, for example, where we can detect these signals in data, where we go, oh, actually, in this region, we're seeing a number of deaths in children with this particular issue. It's exactly what happened during COVID. We have the skills and ability in the UK to do this. It's simple. We just need to make sure the data, it all comes from, we don't know what's in PFD reports. The information is just not usable, and that's why we created a tracker, to turn coronial information into useful data, and we have the skills and we can do these things. It's just getting the information to be data.
I mean, I think I've heard from your answer the reason why you set up the tracker, as well as your clear passion for the subject. But in terms of the website itself, this Preventable Deaths Tracker website, that, you know, painstaking hours of effort, that also has been self-funded, I think. But what does it do from a practitioner's point of view in terms of accessing something that may be relevant to them and their practice that the Chief Coroner's website is currently unable to do?
Certainly, yeah. So at the moment, when a report is written by a coroner, will get sent to the Chief Coroner's office and published as a PDF document online. There have been 2 changes that have occurred since this committee last met. That is to make it filterable, so it's a new website where you can search, as well as since January of 2023, the full reports are now published as free text onto the website, so you can search for specific types of deaths or specific drugs. For example, you could type tramadol or opioids and see what cases come up. But what it doesn't do is what the tracker does, and we provide statistics. So first of all, we provide an insight into, before the tracker, we didn't know how many PFDs were being published in the last 10.5 years. We now know the mean number is 460 PFDs being published every year. Which is important to know because, for example, during COVID, we saw a drop-off, but no one was doing that except for the data that we provided. We're also able to show what coroners and what coronal areas are writing reports, so it's giving an idea about geographical variation. And we're also providing insight into responses, so who is and isn't responding based on what information is published on the judicial website. The final aspect, and probably the most important, which is what you're asking in terms of practitioners, is that we conduct lots of research. I'm based at Oxford, academic institution. Yes, we do research for a living, but our research is showing insights into different types of deaths. We've looked at self-inflicted deaths, opioids, falls, sepsis, cycling-related deaths, and the list goes on, more than 25 research projects. But how this tool actually helps practitioners on the ground, I'll give one example with coroners. I've currently been, since December, been helping different coroners and coroners areas to see if their PFD reports are actually published on the website. I think it might be a simple thing, but actually we've found many PFD reports from 2015, 2016, even last year that wasn't published. So able to identify information that's not there, responses that just aren't there. And I've been working with coroners to do this. So coroners are one of the practitioners that it can help. The other aspect, and I get emails on a daily basis, even this morning, and last week I got an email from the Scottish Government asking for data. So I get data requests on a daily, weekly basis saying, Georgia, could you please send me data on deaths involving elderly, people that have suspected dementia that have had a car crash, really specific requests. So I get these data requests on a daily basis. I physically cannot respond and provide this data on a daily basis, but I'm the only person in the country that can provide that at the moment, and it's just crazy that that's the case.
Yes, Deborah.
Yeah, just if I can add something. I mean, you said, I think your